Hello everyone, welcome back to Mentors Academy. Today is the 30th of September 2025 and as always we'll cover the most important current affairs from the newspapers like The Hindu, The Indian Express, PIB and also other reliable sources. Remember, these current affairs are very relevant for all your competitive exams, including UPSC, CSC, prelims, mains, also EPFO, CAPF, and all the state PCS exams as well. Right. So let's first look at yesterday's MCQs and then move into today's key headlines and the articles in detail. So yesterday's MCQs, the first question was, with reference to the Ramsar Convention 1971, consider the following statements. 1. The convention is legally binding and member countries are obligated to maintain the ecological character of all wetlands within their territory. 2. Once a site is designated as a Ramsar site, it automatically receives financial assistance from the Global Environment Facility. 3. Recently, Bihar's Gokul Jalashay and Udaipur Jheel were added as Ramsar sites, increasing India's total number of Ramsar wetlands. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Options were 1 and 2 only, 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer to this question is option C, 1 and 3 only. Yes, Ramsar Convention is legally binding, very important for your prelims exams especially, and members are obligated, yes, to maintain the ecological character of the wetlands within their territory. Statement 2 is incorrect. Ramsar designation, it does not automatically receive the financial assistance from the GEF, Global Environment Facility. Whereas statement 3 is correct. Bihar's two wetlands have been added to Ramsar Convention, right? So Bihar's Gokul Jalashay and the Udaipur Jheel as well. The second question was, consider the following pairs regarding Indian biosphere reserves and their unique features. 1. Cold desert biosphere reserve, home to snow leopard and Himalayan ibex. 2. Sundarbans Biosphere Reserve, only mangrove forest in the world inhabited by tigers. 3. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, recognized under UNESCO's Man and Biosphere Program. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? Only 1, only 2, all 3 and none. The correct answer to this question is option C, all 3. All the 3 features are correctly matched. So now let's dive into today's key headlines. Let me read them out for you one by one. More women employed in agriculture, but half of them are unpaid. The Wassenaar arrangement, the need to reform export control regimes. India to build 2 cross-border rail links to Bhutan will cost 4,000 crore rupees. 29% jump in crimes against STs. Manipur tops the list. NCRB data. Common supplies to joint training. Armed forces look at steps ahead of theaterization. Cybercrimes rise 31.2%, most cases linked to fraud. So these are the key headlines for today's news. Let's see them one by one in detail. First article is about women in agriculture rise in unpaid work. So recent reports show that more women are engaged in agriculture, yet nearly half of them remain unpaid. Half of them, around 50% of them, remain unpaid family workers. Right? It's a concern, serious concern. So according to the periodic labor force survey, PLFS, periodic labor force survey, the female participation in rural agriculture, rural India has risen. However, women are mostly involved in sowing, transplanting and harvesting, but are classified as helpers, unpaid helpers, but not as farmers. Right? So only about 20% of women own agricultural land according to the agricultural census, and the most of them lack access to credit and social security and insurance. This feminization of agriculture The term is very important for your mains, especially without recognition, feminization of agriculture. Without recognition, it leads to invisibilization of women's work. For prelims, it's important to know about the PLFS reports and also the agricultural census. And for mains, connect this to rural inequality, rural gender inequality, land reforms, and also the gender justice, feminization of agriculture. The next article is about Wassenaar arrangement, reforming export controls. Right? So experts argue that the Wassenaar arrangement was created in the year 1996. It must be reformed to handle the new age dual use technologies. So this Wassenaar arrangement, it's a multilateral export control regime with 42 members regulating conventional arms and dual use goods. India joined in the year 2017. Right? So current lists don't adequately cover the AI, cyber tools, and also space technology. Right? So India pushes for equitable access for the global south as well. So balancing innovation with security is the central challenge here. Right? For prelims, it's important to know about the basics of Wassenaar arrangement and also India's membership in the group. And for mains, technology governance, strategic autonomy, and export control regimes. Right? Balancing innovation and the regulation also. The next article is about India-Bhutan rail links, 4,000 crore rupee worth project. So India will construct two cross-border rail lines to Bhutan at a cost of 4,000 crore rupees. So Bhutan has no rail network. So the India-Bhutan Friendship Treaty 1949, again revised in 2007, it underpins the bilateral ties between the two countries. So connectivity also supports India's Act East policy here, right? Um, India's Act East policy, also mainly the India's neighborhood policy, right? So here the links are Kokrajhar Galipu link, rail link, and also the Banharhat Samste link. So it will boost trade, tourism, and Bhutan's access to Indian ports. It counters China's infrastructure expansion in the Himalayan region. Right? For prelims, it's important, very important to know about India-Bhutan Friendship Treaty and Act East policy and the neighborhood first policy. And for mains, the neighborhood first policy, of course, and the connectivity diplomacy, regional diplomacy, and the strategic connectivity as well. The next article is about crime against STs, NCRB data. So NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau, has reported a 29% rise in crimes against scheduled tribes, with Manipur in the top, right? So the NCRB here, it records crime data. NCRB records crime data. STs are protected under the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989, yet displacement, land alienation, and ethnic conflict increases the vulnerability of these communities, right? So common crimes include land grabbing, assault, and exploitation of women, right? Weak implementation of protective laws, it further worsens these kind of problems, and conflict zones like Manipur show sharp increases and it worsens the vulnerabilities. For prelims, it's important to know about the NCRB mandate and the Act, SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. For mains, connect this to the governance gaps, tribal rights, and also the law enforcement challenges. The next article is about theaterization, next steps for armed forces. So India's armed forces are moving towards theaterization, starting with joint training, procurement, and also common logistics, right? So theaterization, what does it exactly mean? It means, very important term, theaterization, it means integration of army, navy, and air force, like all these armed forces, integration, their integration under one joint command. It is called the theaterization. The Chief of Defense Staff CDS drives this reform, right? So pilot projects in common logistics and training have already begun, and there is resistance due to inter service turf issues, right? But jointness is essential for modern multi-domain warfare, right? For prelims, it's very important to know about the CDS role, integrated theater commands, and for mains, defense reforms, jointness versus autonomy of services, right? Very important. Cybercrime rise, fraud dominates. So NCRB recorded a 31.2% rise in the cyber crimes, most linked to financial frauds. Right. So with 850 million internet users, India has around 850 million internet users. So it is highly vulnerable. Right. So it's a hotspot for cyber crimes. So cyber security is usually governed by the IT Act 2000 and overseen by the certain, right, in to govern the cyber security. Over 65% cases involve fraud, financial fraud, including phishing, identity theft, and also OTP scams. So rapid digital payments adoption fuels risks, right? So low awareness and weak enforcement make it even worse. Why? So for prelims, connect this to the 13 and also the IT Act 2000, and for mains, know about the cyber security challenges, need for Digital India safeguards, and also governance in Digital India internal security. Right? Here is a thought for you. Do you think theaterization will improve India's war fighting capacity, or will inter-service rivalry dilute its effectiveness? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Right. So now let's test your knowledge with the two prelims model MCQs from connecting to today's articles. The first question is, with reference to the Wassenaar arrangement, consider the following statements. It is a multilateral export control regime regulating trade in dual-use goods and conventional arms. India became a member of the arrangement in 2017. Unlike the nuclear suppliers group, the Wassenaar arrangement functions under the United Nations. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. The second question is, consider the following statements regarding theaterization of Indian armed forces. The concept seeks to create integrated theater commands combining Army, Navy, and Air Force for synergy. The post of Chief of Defence Staff was created in 2019 to drive such reforms. India has already operationalized 4 fully functional integrated theater commands. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Please drop your answers to these two MCQs in the comment section below. We'll be checking your responses. So we have two main questions for you to practice answer writing. The first question is, feminization of agriculture in India is accompanied by invisibilization of women's work. Critically analyze in the context of a recent labor force trends. 10 marker, 150 words question. Second question is, cybercrime is fast emerging as the biggest internal security threat in India. Discuss the existing legal institutional frameworks and suggest reforms. Strengthen India's cyber resilience. 15 marker, 250 words question. Right? So that wraps up today's current affairs. We studied about women in agriculture, Wassenaar arrangement reforms, India-Bhutan rail links, crimes against guesties, theaterization, and cybercrimes, all directly linked to your exam syllabus. If you found this lecture useful and helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mentors Academy, and press that bell icon so that you don't miss any update in future. Right? So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for turning in today. Have a good day, you all.